Tom, I was very impressed by the fact that you've bought your chores and you've completed them already.
Oh yeah, I've got them all.
Built.
All built. I haven't painted them yet. Even you have to put little pins in the bottoms of the feet because they're all the bull centaurs are really difficult to put on their bases.
Are they? Are they going to be like? Because the Minotaur tips over if you don't put a penny under the base. Is it going to be the same?
Probably. I'll probably have to put a penny underneath it as well. There's two. There's one of the bull centaurs that's kind of on two legs, and also the star players on two legs, so they're kind of rearing up. So yeah. Equally, they've put in on the hobgoblins. 4 of them have actually got the little slits that they push them into the actual bases.
Okay, they've got the old slot bases. Oh.
Yeah, but they're not the old slot bases because when you try and push them in, they don't go in. You have because must be the way that they've been made. There's little notches inside them. So
there are.
So you them all out.
Yeah, or you have to kind of click them in one bit and then force them down, and then they don't slide out again. They're a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. So word to all those people rushing out to buy chorfs, be wary of that. And also, they're very easy to put together. Apart from why on earth they can't have the horns already stuck to the hats, I will never know. You have to individually glue the horns on the hats.
Is it just in case you don't want horns on hats?
No, because if you don't have horns on hats, you have 2 whopping great holes in the tops of their heads.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you think it was, or I'm just throwing this one out there for you, Tom. Do you think it was the people at GW who actually designed the molding setter for the sprue? Do you think they thought, let's just screw over people? This is too easy now. The way we've set up these sprues and the way it's all going to go together is so seamless. We need to put something in there just to make their lives a little bit more challenging.
We've made them wait for it. Let's make them pay for it.
Especially that guy, Tom Hovell in Stowmarket, because he's going to buy lots. So let's make him suffer.
I think what happened was they had a sensible conversation, they had a team chat, got the string together perfectly, went to lunch, and the chap who designed and built the Dark Elves went, hang on a minute, this is too easy. Right, put some fiddly little bits that you'd have to glue, and if you cut them, they go flying across the room, and you have to go and search through the carpet.
Do we have to say at that point, it might not just be a chap, it might be someone else, other members of the Games Workshop community are more than capable of creating a mold and frustrating model pieces.
We can all agree, though. We can all agree that the person at GW who decided that Dark Elves needed that stupid little blade fin probably lives in a cupboard under the stairs at GW, and they just open the door every now and again and say, "How can we make this difficult?" And then he just pokes a bit of plastic out, and they just attach that to a figure.
Yeah, exactly.
On that note, let's play the intro. Hello everyone, welcome to New Dice Please, the bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast, brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by Mr. Scott Bryant. Scott, how do you like your bacon?
Crispy, very, very crispy.
Very nice.
Don't worry, I'm not worried if it's grilled or fried, just crispy. The crispier the better. Yeah.
Okay. And joined once again by Mr. Tom Hovell. Tom, how do you like your bacon?
Yeah, I'll go with crispy as well, yeah, I think so. Probably not as crispy as, by the sounds of things, Scott wants it, but just so it's nice in a sandwich.
About 10 years ago, or maybe more than 10 years ago, when I was at Latitude Festival in my early 20s, we were walking around the campsite, and the cool thing to do that year appeared to be one group of people would walk around and just shout, "How do you like your bacon?" at the top of their voice, and somebody else from way over the campsite would shout "crispy" in response, and that was it. That was the entertainment while the acts went on.
That's the type of anecdote that is going to propel us up the podcast awards for next year.
It is. No. We've learned if I want to get on the podcast awards for next year, it's this Latitude story. The following year, people weren't shouting that. Instead, people were just idly shouting syphilis into the ether with no response or call and answer whatsoever, which was in itself ridiculous. However, when we heard a rather older lady shout yes, and then her husband go, no, they said syphilis, not Phyllis. It kind of made it all worth it. If talking about
You've rescued that,
I've
Chris.
rescued
Sorry,
it, haven't
guy. You've literally grabbed that by the scruff and dragged it back
I
from
have.
the abyss. Well done, sir.
If STDs were on your New Dice Please bingo card, you can tick them off. But we're not talking about STDs this week. We are playing our favorite game. It's come round again. It's the dead horse we will continue to beat. It is League Friendly Stomp. We will be looking at 3 teams and we will deciding which one of those 3 teams we would take for a league season, which one we want to have a nice go on in a friendly, and which one we are putting under the bottom of our boots and getting rid of once and for all. Scott and Tom do not know the 3 teams that I have decided on this week, and I had a little ponder about the theme, and I thought what could be a good one to do. And then for different reasons, I've been talking about to different people about 3 different teams that all have a nice theme and all work together. So this week we are doing the one that was always going to be on our list, and it is the elf list. It is Elven Union, it is Dark Elves, and it is Wood Elves. So we will be deciding which of the 3 elf teams, so we're not including High Elves in this, just the 3 elf teams that we have access to at the moment. Which one of these teams is the league team, which is the friendly team, which is the stompable team out of the 3. I tend to go first to allow you guys to have a little bit of thinking time. And I will go first with what is, I don't know if it's the easy option or not, but I am choosing Elven Union as my league roster out of the 3.
Ooh. Okay.
Reason behind it, or is that it?
Well, I was kind of pondering it, and I like the Elven Union team. I've actually got a half painted, doing a Tom Hovel. I've got a half painted Elven Union team just here, sat in a
Are you saying I half paint my teams?
No, the reaching behind the camera to produce some Blood Bowl memorabilia. I started painting this team, and then I got I hated building them and hated painting them so much that I gave them to a friend of mine, who then decided he didn't really like Blood Bowl and didn't want to play. So he's since given them back to me, and I painted this lovely Elven Union team here with a kind of Marty McFly Back to the Future theme to them, but they all have different coloured hair like trolls. So I was quite proud of them. I thought they looked quite good. And the reason I thought Elven Union for my league roster is that I think they have the skill, they have all the kind of basic skills and positionals that I feel you want in a game of Blood Bowl if you're playing an agile passing game. They feel like the best passing team to me. They feel like really strong team for if that's the kind of game you want to play. They don't have the kind of quirks of the other 2, but I don't think not having the quirks of the other 2 makes them uninteresting enough to stomp on. I think they're quite a nice blank canvas that you can mold, and I think you can kind of create a really good team out of them and really kind of put your own kind of sting on them in a league situation where you grow the skills and things like that. And I think it's quite nice. Sometimes it's nice to have a Blood Bowl team that's just a bit of a blank canvas, that it's like, they're good at this, but they're a bit of a kind of just easy, like, this is what I can do with you, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is and this will be fine. And that's why I kind of like them. But I think I would want to. They're not interesting enough for a friendly, I don't think, because I think you want something a bit more interesting that's going to be a bit sort of maybe have a bit of flair. So I think they're just kind of a good base level.
Okay.
Scott, where would you put Elven Union?
Okay. Elven Union for me, I'd actually put them Stomp. Of all the elf teams, hear me out. I love this supportive sigh of desperation.
This feels like the easy. It feels like the easy call to stump on them because then maybe
So I'm making an easy call. I am making an easy call there. So if we have a league and if we have a 1-season league, if a 1-season league, I would choose Dark. Because I think with Dark Elves, they've got more base, better spread of base skills across their player. We all know with all these elves, they are relatively expensive, and yes, they are very, very squishy. So if you get some downside, I think you're gonna be more impacted in terms of losing key positionals on Wood Elf. I mean, if you lose a War Dancer, it's a very painful place to be, and it can bring tears if you've put a lot of love and effort into the little fella. If it was a League 2 season, definitely Wood Elves. If it was a friendly, for me, it would be either the one that I wasn't playing in League. So for me, of the two, I love my Wood Elves. Dark Elves, I do like, and I do want to get into them one day. Union, yeah, feel like a bit human Bloodbowl or Ultramarines in 40k. A bit, yeah, okay. I know they're cool at passing, but then they're not as good as, or they're not as unique and as specific as like High Elves. They're not as edge quite as you would Dancers, and they don't have the big guy that you get with the Wood Elves, and they don't have the sort of nefarious nature and slightly cheekiness and the dirty tricks of all of your block and all of your stab and your dump off that you get with the Dark Elves.
Okay, so
aesthetically, they feel a bit vanilla, if I'm honest with you, for elves.
I do get it, but I think that's what makes them good. I think sometimes some Blood Bowl teams need to be vanilla. Tom, Tom, where are you putting Elven Union?
I'm actually putting them as League. The reason behind my thoughts on that was exactly what you've just said, Scott. They are a bit vanilla. But they've got all the positionals. They haven't got, they've got blitzers, they've got catchers, they've got the throwers. Whereas the Wood Elves really only have a whole load of linemen and two.
But they got War Dancers. They've got a passer with okay, he doesn't have sure hands, but he's still got pass. Okay, he doesn't have anything else, but he's got pass, and he got catchers who have catch and dodge.
Yeah,
who cares about the catch? Like you basically
okay. If we don't care about catch, let's not talk about passing then. Why not? You play elves for either War Dancers, witches, so therefore you don't play Union.
Well, no. So here's.
Sorry, I no. Let's go back to Tom. We've interrupted Tom. We've stopped him in his tracks. Sorry, Tom.
That's all right. That's what I was. What I was saying is that if you'd said rather than friendly tournament, then I would have maybe moved Elven Union to tournament, because then you can start building some quite good players. Whereas for me, Wood Elves are a little bit of a glass cannon, in my opinion, from what I've seen of other people playing them.
Apart from me, then, who else have you seen playing them?
I've watched a lot online. But also, you've got a lot of things with them. I quite like the idea that the catchers have got nerves of steel and catch, and the throwers have still got pass. But also your blitzers are they've got block, but they've also got a sidestep as well. So there's a couple of nice little things around them that they're not afraid to go toe to toe. So that for a league setup, they are a little bit more resilient than maybe the Wood Elves, and also a little bit more potentially a little bit more resilient than the Dark Elves. I know Dark Elves have potentially got a little bit more armor.
Yeah, they've got armor 9.
Yeah.
So I think so, because I think that the narrative, because I like having a narrative with my team, and I feel like the narrative for Wood Elves and for Dark Elves is done for you. Like you kind of like it's there. All the interesting bits are there. All the key things are there. You know, big up the war dancers, big up the witch elves. Job done. Whereas you can kind of mold Elven Union a bit better to be your own thing. But I let's move on from Elven Union because let's move on to another team. Let's go to Dark Elves then. As the like you said, Tom, probably the stockier of the three, armor 9 across there, more positionals than either of the other two as well to choose from. Scott, where are you putting Dark Elves?
Wherever I'm not putting Wood Elves, Chris. I know they've only got movement 7, so they don't have a movement 8 piece, although they do have jump up within their skill set in terms of the witches, I believe. So yeah, and they just got so many, which fits their personality. You said you like a narrative, Chris. The Dark Elves, their skill set fits their narratives. You know, slightly backhandedness. To have stab, not just on one, but on possibly 2 players. How good is that? To have dump off, you think you're going to get the ball by blitzing the carrier. It's like, not anymore. Oh, by the way, if it's in the league, I get SP for that as well. So it's a very good one.
So are you
all I would say to you, I would friendly them for one match, and then I'd probably straight in for league. I would play league again with them as well. If I was playing a 1 season league, I'd go for Dark Elves. If I was playing a 2 season, I would go for Wood Elves.
So which
and by the way, all I will say to you for your I'll get to my answer. I'm just hanging it out there while I think. All I'd say to you is about your Elven Union, and you want a story, OWA. Anyway, moving on. If I have to pick, just because they're in my league team now, I would play Dark Elves or something different, and then I'd do the friendly or for Wood Elves as well.
So what? How? So
yeah.
So where are you? So
I'm playing them both. Do you know what? I'm going to have my own special team, the Dark Wood Elves. Yeah, that's it. Mahogany Elves. I don't know.
So
I like them both. I don't care. Give me the team. I'll play them both.
Are you gonna, on our third attempt at playing this game, break the system and say you're gonna put them on both?
Yes. I'm outside the box. I push the envelope. Okay. You know.
All right, Tom, where are you putting your Dark Elves?
Well, I was playing true to the rules of this game. So I only chose one area. and I'm going to put them as Stomp because you haven't really given me many options. And the reason behind that is because they are the bashier of the 3, but there are better bashier teams out there to play on any of them.
But then you could sorry, Tom, but you could use that about any of the 3 teams. Every other team is better bashier.
Yeah, but the Elven Union have got the pass and the throwing going on.
So Wood Elves?
The Wood Elves have got the speed and dexterity going on. And that's what you want, and that's what you take with elves, and that's what you want to play with elves. So with the Dark Elves, yes, you've got all the shadowy stab and the frenzy, but with I know you've got block on the blitzers, but on your assassins and witch elves, they're just standing targets because apart from dodge on the witch elf, they haven't really got any other defense, shall we say?
So you do what Chris says, and you upskill them, and you have a development tree.
Yes, you're a league, and I put my Elven Union on the league because that's the better. That to me is what I would have more fun with.
See, I look at the Dark Elves, and I think they're really interesting. I think the fact they've got like stab and shadowing. Shadowing very rarely works, but when it does, it's really annoying to your opponent. But the stab is great. It's 2 free actions if you can just keep them alive. The witch elves I think are really interesting pieces. Elves like Edge 2 armor 9 is pretty pretty incredible. And I think they're a great team if you just want to go into a game and you just want to frustrate your opponent. I think they're one of the most frustrating teams because on your turn you can stab twice and possibly take people off. On their turn, your opponent will undoubtedly forget that your runner has got dump off, and you'll frustrate them in that. And a lot of the time, your dump off is it's a like a 3-up or a 2-up pass followed by a 2-up catch. Like, so it's an easy dump off, and you can just, like, the way you can frustrate other teams, I think just sounds quite fun. Like, the kind of slightly evil vengeance part of my brain is just like, I'm just going to go in this team to be into this game to be an absolute nuisance. And I think they're one of the best teams to do that. So I think I would take them for a friendly. I think that would be my go-to.
And as you say, that assassin is good value, considering that the new Hobgoblin Sneaky Stabber is 70k, and it's got less strength. No, it's got the same
Both
strength.
strength. Isn't the armor 8 on the
I think
Hobgoblin?
it's armor
Assassins
8.
are
They're
armor
both,
8,
they're
aren't
both
they?
armor 8, and they've both got passing 5 plus.
What's
but-
movement, Tom?
But movement on the Sneaky Stabber is 6, whereas an assassin is 7, and the agility is 3 compared to 2 on the assassin.
How much
So-
are assassins?
Sorry?
How much do assassins cost?
90.
They cost 85. So for 15k more,
It does
you get
feel
a
good.
+1 movement and a plus on the agility. So yeah, I think that's a good price for assassins. Which I don't know. I've never played them. Are they often on a team, or are they often left off the team?
I've played against them. I've had 4 games in 2 different seasons against Wood Elves, against Dark Elves. The dump off is frustrating. The assassin can be brutal, but you're kind of weighing up. If you blitz with the assassin, if you move and stab, that's your blitz action. If you can save up for multiple block, that's great, but you need to get the SPP elsewhere because you don't get it from the stab. Um, and because they're armor 8 compared to armor 9, if you put them on the line to get 2 good stabs in on the first turn, if they don't go well, they are going to be a bit of a target because they're going to be the easiest of the Dark Elves to remove. But it gives you something else in your arsenal. It gives you the opportunity to line up against Skaven, and you put 2 assassins on the Rat Ogre, and you've got 2 attempts to just stab it off the pitch straight away. Like, it's, not many teams give you that option. So I think they're fun. It does, of course, mean that the Wood Elves are going under my boot.
The best player in the game, the War Dancer. Movement 8, edge 2, dodge, block, leap, straight out of the box.
Yeah. And that's it. What else have they got, Tom? What else is going in Wood Elves' favour other than the War Dancer? They are a one-man team. They are a one-positional team. The Tree Man is a waste of space at the front and a waste of money in that team. You can't throw anyone with it, so what's the point? The catchers are so-so. The throwers are so-so. Both are positionals. You get better if you choose a different elf team. So you're picking them for the War Dancer, and you're picking them to create, a team of average players plus Cristiano Ronaldo up front. That's Wood Elves to me. And a team for just one player, I'm not into it.
Hey Chris, just sorry, Tom. Hey Chris, just in case you don't know, you don't get 1, you get 2. And as if that's not good enough, you can get a tree. And do you know what? Even with Chris, because I know you love halflings, that tree has throw teammates. Oh, you don't have halflings or anything with the right stuff. Don't worry about it, Chris. You'd like them. Trust me, Chris.
That's the crazy thing, because that Tree Man, I'm just looking at its stats. It's got Mighty Blow, Stand Firm, Throw Teammate, Thick Skull, Take Root, and Strong Arm. So it has Strong Arm as well. So it's a really good thrower, but it's got nothing to throw.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you take a star player with right stuff,
and that's why you take it on in a friendly, you see. And also, on the same kind of wave that you were saying about Dark Elves to annoy your team, your opponent, you just keep looping those war dancers into cages and start smacking people up. That's what you use them for.
Hey, Chris,
I don't
what
know.
was the score? What was the last score when you played Wood Elves? Can you remember?
Was that against you or was that in Wales?
Well, either. Take your pick.
I think it was against you. I have beaten your Wood Elves, but I don't think the last game. I think I lost 2-1, maybe. Does that sound right?
3-1.
Oh, was
Maybe.
it
Who
3-1?
knows?
Okay,
I
3-1.
think it was, yeah.
I've also lost 4-1 to Wood Elves. I've lost 7-2 to Wood Elves. I've
Yeah, I
lost
was just about to
4-0
say,
to
was
Wood
that
Elves.
something like that?
I think
Yeah.
this is now a bit more about not the team itself. I think we're getting to the root of the cause. So lie on the couch, Chris, put your feet up. Let's talk through this in terms of these emotional experiences. Let's
Okay.
share them with the Bloodbowl community, with all our brethren. There it is. Chris is putting his feet up.
It started
So-
a couple of years ago where I don't think
What do you
they're
think,
very
Chris?
good.
While Tom will stepping, while Chris regains his composure, Tom, do you think this is more about Chris is just dislike of Wood Elves because he's had so many bad results and maybe they've pushed him over the edge? Are Wood Elves the one team Chris just now has as an inherent dislike for, just from purely a childhood experience that he's trying to bury deep down in his psyche?
Well, he wouldn't be the first, really, would he? It's like my hatred of lizard men. They are my bogey team. They are horrible. I just cannot win against them. So yeah, that's why I'm putting Wood Elves as my friendly.
So so tell me about Wood Elves as your friendly, because you're playing them in a friendly game, and all you're just playing war dancers. It's just war dancers, and then a bunch of the linemen aren't great. Wood Elf linemen are not great. They're not as good as Dark Elf linemen, are they?
Friendly. It's a friendly. I don't have to concentrate on the game. I can have a beer because I just know I have to move 2 positionals, and that's all I'm doing.
So just to be clear on my current win record against Wood Elves, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 losses and 3 wins. So I have won 3 times against Wood Elves, and the last game that I had against Wood Elves, if my pages are correct, Scott, I played you on the 2nd of February and lost 2-1, and then I played you on the 7th of April and won 2-1.
I think I was washing my hair that night. I'm sure I'll check my diary, but yeah, well, I'm sure we can have a rematch just to put.
I just don't. I just think they're a one-trick pony a little bit. Whereas you've got more. I quite like to be able to kind of personalize and mold a team to a bit more. And I feel like you have to focus on if you choose not to focus on the war dancers, there's no point, right? So I feel like you're kind of a little bit pinned into a certain way to play. And I like to have more flexibility.
I'll ask you both a question then. If we, as we have said, if in your opinion then that the Wood Elves are just basically they're just something there to support a war dancer or 2 war dancers, in a similar fashion then, if we assume that the Dark Elves are there as a team to support the witches, does that then, and obviously as an opposition coach, you focus on the witches, you focus on the war dancers, does that then give the Elven Union something additional in terms of a rounder game, or not? Okay, or do people look at how should I say this? Do people look at Elven Union and slightly underrate them at their own risk?
You see, that's why I put them down as my league, the Elven Union, because they are a little bit more resilient. You've got a lot of different things you can do with them. So, for example, they're not just purely one way, just straight down, catch the ball, etc., etc. The other thing was that the Wood Elves, I'm just going through them and just looking just the linemen. They are really expensive for being what they are. Not being funny. They've got the same stats apart from the edge which is a difference of Edge 2 against a Clan Rat lineman, Edge 3. And the lineman for a Wood Elf is 70k, and the Clan Rat is 50k. You know,
Yeah.
you look through these stats, and it's almost the opposite of what I was saying about the Assassin. It's not a good deal. They are overly priced, and to put them in anything other than a friendly, it's just madness. I tell you, madness.
I think you can make you've got more options as to who you make be your superstar in an Elven Union team than whereas the superstars in your Dark Elf team and your Wood Elf team are kind of chosen for you already. So I think that's what I am maybe less keen on, because then I can do more what I want rather than having to focus on the other positionals.
And I'm not that good at Blood Bowl that I can actually actively choose who gets the points, because my dice just don't like me. So if there's a wide spade of anyone could get some points, I'm up for that. Because like you say, you're almost, like you say, forced into investing in a certain amount of players. And even if you get SPP on a lineman in either Dark Elf or Wood Elves, you're loath to up them and put a random stat on them, or even put stats on them, because your TV goes through the roof, and then you get, say, like a Snotling team with just linemen themselves and zero TV come along with a giant and Morgan Thorpe and just completely eradicate you.
I think because if you can spread your SPP out a bit more, then you're less likely to have like the one or the two expensive players you redraft. You're more likely to maybe have a couple who you can bring back, and maybe your second season is then stronger because you can bring back a few players with a few skills rather than one or two with hundreds.
Yeah.
Scott, you're not happy.
I just think I'm preaching to the heathens who will never be converted. So therefore, all I'm going to do is, and it's just confirming what you already had suspicions about, gents. I'll just put your name on the special list. So come the revolution, you will be at the front of the queue to be shot. So I just put you down there. Don't worry about it. I will make it as painful and as possibly. And do you know what I'll do when I shoot you? I will even put some war dancers and some witches next to you as well, just to make you feel a little bit more special.
Oh, lovely.
Well, here's. Oh, sorry, Scott. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, just as something else to throw in there, you obviously mentioned the dark. We talked about Wood Elves, we talked about Dark Elves, we talked about the Vanilla Boys, the Elven Union. What about those High Elves? They're a bit, they're built to be the ultimate passing team. What's your thoughts? What would you do with those, Chris, for one? Would you have those league friendly or Stomp for our High Elves who may or may not be coming?
You know what? I genuinely, other than knowing that they have Cloudburster, I genuinely don't know what their deal is.
Would you like to know?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay,
What?
So again, their linemen are exactly the same as the Wood Elf lineman at 70k, with all the stats, but they have AV9 rather than 8. So already they're more stronger. Then the thrower has got Cloudburst, Pass, and Safe Pass at 100k. And movement 6, strength 6, edge 2, passing 2.
So movement 6, strength 6.
Oh, sorry, strength 3. So
goodness, you definitely
I
build your team around him.
Yeah. Sorry for that. And at 100k, a catcher, which has got catch, movement 8, strength 3, edge 2, passing 5, AV 8. For 90k. And
sorry, Tom, what was that? What was the movement on that catcher?
Movement 8.
Okay, so there was.
And you can have four. You can have 4 of them. So you can have 2 throwers, 4 catchers, and then the final one is the blitzer, which has got block, and they are 100k, and they've got movement 7, strength 3, edge 2, passing 4, armor 9.
I don't know, you know, because they all they sound like they are better armored Elven Union, and Elven Union I think are cheaper, so you'll have more in the way of subs and rerolls. An Elven Union reroll is only 50k. Like,
Yeah.
to me, they feel like Elven Union that think they're better than everyone else. So I think I'm good. I think I'll stick with Elven Union. I don't even.
Tom, Chris, apologies. This is a leading question. We know the answer. Tom, would you buy them?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to say, I've only bought the Chaos Dwarfs because I know what my dice are like, and I just need armor 10 plus across the board. That's all I need.
For when they fall over and they have to punch themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, are you a heathen, as Scott says? Do you like one elf over another? Do you have a particular view on which one of these should be top of the list and which one should be bottom? Scott, if people have any thoughts, want to tell us their order of these, or want to tell us anything in general, how do they get in touch?
If people do want to get in touch with us, Chris, if they want to tell us what elves and what particular set of pointy ears they like the best, if they want to tell us that they like their bacon crispy, less crispy, or meh, but yeah, keep any stories about your own STDs to yourself. That would be a marvelous thing. We do have a firewall. Let us know. Email us at newdiceplease, all one word, all lowercase, newdiceplease at gmail.com. What else do these people need to know, Mr. Tom Hovel?
Yep. So we're now all on the socials. So we've got Instagram, New Dice Please, YouTube, we've got New Dice Please, and also Bloodbowl Live, where you can still see some of our previous games in our previous season. We will apparently soon be on TikTok as well, so you'll actually see some of Chris's dancing and everything if you want. That's a special. So if you do want to see Chris's dancing during the beginning of the show, let us know. And if we get 10 people commenting, liking the socials, we'll post it on TikTok.
No, we won't. I have all the footage. How do you think you can make that happen?
I think it's.
I've been recording all of these.
Oh dear. Well, on that note, thank you very much, Scott. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Once again, we have been New Dice Please, and we will see you next time.